The crowd at the festival is blessed with perfect weather. The sun shines bright, the cloudless sky a perfect blue. There's laughter, people dance to the music on stage. The young man collapses in slow motion while waiting to be served 3 portions of grilled chicken. If anybody watched, they would have noticed his eyes rolling upwards so far that only the white showed. His suddenly pale lips form words that nobody hears. His hands slide off the counter, still grabbing hold of the tokens to pay for the food. His knees buckle, his spine curls, and then gracefully almost, his body falls in on the downtrodden grass at the counter. One moment he is there, talking, smiling, ordering food. The next he is gone from the sight of the serving girl. It is too late for lunch and too early for dinner. The young man one of the last ones to be served, the last of the chicken before sunset. He is lucky there are 3 portions left, but it means that there is nobody who notices him collapse. The serving girl thinks he has just skipped out on her, and she replaces the 3 portions on the far counter so that nobody can pick them up by mistake. Then, as she steps closer to the serving counter to look around for him and maybe call that his food is ready, she sees the tumble of clothes on the floor and realizes it to be her last customer. "Help!" she calls with a quiet croak of a voice, before she realizes that she needs to raise the attention of the Red Cross. "Help! Now!" she hollers, and they come running. The first aider, a sturdily built man in his 40s, well seasoned and experienced in his field and especially in these kinds of festivals, kneels next to the young man. "Sir?" he asks, already stretching out a hand to feel for a pulse on the young man's wrist. There is none. To make certain, he tries the man's neck. No pulse. "Oh dear," he says, more for his own benefit than anybody else's. The first aider straightens and looks around for the ambulance men that are closing in. "We have a goner here." He indicates to security to start blocking off access to the food area. The patrons at the festival do not need to see this. A body brings negative press, and then maybe next year the festival might be cancelled. Not good. Just then a woman comes running. "No, let me through. It's my husband." Security tries to restrain her. "You don't understand," she screams. "You cannot touch him. Let me through." While they are struggling to keep her away, ambulance man bends down, straightens the young man, and prepares to start resuscitation procedures. "That's the last thing he needs. Don't touch him." Before the ambulance man can put his hands on the man's rib cage, the woman whacks a small but heavy bag around security's head and pushes through. "Let me through." As she falls to her knees by the side of her husband, the hefty first aider still wants to push her away. "Lady, there's no life in him. His voice trails off at the grim determination reflecting off her face. She leans over and pulls a small bag from under her husband's seemingly lifeless body. Almost the size of a man's purse, it is shiny from frequent use. "You could have killed him," she admonishes nobody in particular. "You are the last thing he needs right now." Her hands follow a small tube that connects her husband to the bag. Neither the first aider nor ambulance man notice it snaking it out of an indistinct opening in the man's shirt. She unplugs the lead and attaches it to a similar port on the bag she used to smack security. Her husband's eyelids flutter. A moment later, he opens his eyes. "What happened?" His voice is so low, only the first aider and the wife hear him. She breathes with relief, her eyes suddenly moist. "Your batteries ran low." "Oh." Inspiration for this story is a friend in the US who has been living with a heart pump for a while. He always must have a spare battery close by, and his wife, who knows how to react should he need her in an emergency. I was staying with them one summer, hence the 3 portions of chicken in the story, and wondered what would happen if the 2 of them got separated and there was an incident like described in the short story I just read. He thought for a moment, and then he said, "Well, that would be a problem." This story is for all those that have heart problems, that live on a pump or wait for a transplant, and for the amazing doctors that can make people live without a heartbeat.